This world is such a and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense.
Swear, man, we got the Ghost of Pac in the studio right now.
It's such a gimme. Step, crush.
They try to stop me, man.
Look,
Everybody back off.
put me down, try and put me down. I'ma hit him up like an outlaw. Combination, hit him with a southpaw. Knock him out in the first round, y'all. Voice of my city like town hall. Round more pounds than stray dogs. I can make it flood in a drought, y'all. Never gon' settle. All I do is get better. All I do is get cheddar. Pulling up, blowing pressure. Outlaw shit forever. Deep in the trenches, I'm riding dirty, I'm reckless. I got this bitch sitting next to me, and she love when I check her.
Once again, it's on. It's your guy, EDI, man. Welcome back to another edition of the Outlaw Show, man. The flyest show around. And in the effort to always keep things fly, I got one of the flyest young voices on the hip-hop scene today. And she's a female. Her name is Lizzy Jeff. Welcome to the Outlaw Show.
Thank you for having me. What's
man,
up, world?
Thanks for coming, Queen.
It's so beautiful here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on my show, man, because we first met at my Roses event, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Penny Lane, of course.
Yeah, Penny
that was
Lane.
an epic, one of the more epic days of 2021 for me. And you hosted that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did an excellent job
Thank
that
you,
day
man.
hosting it. You set the vibe real nice. Man, you really had to be there. I'm sorry. If I could
beautiful.
bring this vibe of that day to y'all right now, I would, man. But unfortunately, I can't do that. I ain't a magician on that level. You know what I mean? That would take some different kind of alchemy. But you had to be there. She was.
Yeah, I was there.
And she set the tone for the day. And I was like, wow, her vibe is it's a different vibe right there. You know what I mean? I didn't really know what you did. You know what I mean? And even how you ended up on a boat, but I trust Penny, and Penny, you know, put it together and did an amazing job doing that. Shout out to her again. And I see now why she picked you.
That's love.
Yeah.
That's love.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's get a little history
Okay,
on you. Let's
come
go
on.
to the beginning for our viewers who may not know. Lizzy Jeff, where you from? How you got here? Spaceship, car, train,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Let us know the
appreciate that.
history.
Yes, so the history, and I do want to say that day on the yacht was a beautiful, just miraculous experience on a warm, sunny, I think it was a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
In Marina Del Rey, just cruising on the marina. And something that I remember specifically, you know, shout out to Penny Lane for putting that whole experience together. That day, so many of the other yachts that were going by were filled with people that looked like us. So it was just real powerful on many levels. And then
Thanks.
to see all the people that you love, that love you, pull up in such a creative, fly way to honor you,
Yeah.
to hear the different stories from what you mean to so many people was powerful. And to be able to host that, you know, and you didn't know me, you feel me? And that says a lot about Penny Lane, that you trusted her with that vision, and it turned out to be a powerful experience for me as well. And so thank you, you know, for allowing me into your space to celebrate you in that
Pleasure
way.
was all mine, literally.
And now here we are again.
Uh-huh.
And so to answer your question, my name is Lizzy Jeff, and I'm from Los Angeles, from the Crenshaw district, you feel me?
Yeah.
Right up the street from Lamert Park, not too far from, you know, Crenshaw and Slauson. And my family is migrated to LA from Louisiana, New Orleans. So I have a lot of history there. And I spent a lot of my childhood growing up in New Orleans and just going and staying and being with family and being just part of that energy and that culture. And so between New Orleans and LA, you know, both cultures have
Great
inspired
cities.
me
Yeah.
in so many ways, and you hear it in my music. It's just heavily influenced by a lot of the people from, you know, what No Limit did to what Cash Money did, and also what West Side Connection did and Snoop. And so I just want to create music, you know, that is reflective of where I'm from, of my culture, paying homage to those that paved the path. And through that, the music has served as a vehicle to take my message global. And so the message of my brand, of my record label, is Zen and Kush Records. And I've been able to just show up in the dopest, most creative, flyest ways through curated events, art, music, with the perfect...
We're going to get to them events too,
okay,
man.
Yeah,
if y'all don't follow her, you're missing out. You need to follow her. We're going to get to those events too.
Okay,
Zen and Kush are the name of those events.
Yeah,
You see, she's sitting there rolling up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm over here enjoying my napalm pen, man. Shout out to Exodus Z Exhibit for blessing me with this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, and you know, here at the Outlaw Show, man, we very cannabis friendly. Why do you feel like marijuana goes so well with your message? And where did the Zen and Kush inspiration actually come from?
That's a wonderful question.
Well, yeah, I'm good at that. What I do.
It's the perfect.
It's a great concept, and I you know, I enjoy watching you move about and spread your message. So I want to know where the inspiration came from.
I love that. So yeah, the inspiration. So the first part of your question was about the cannabis. Okay, so I'm from LA, right over there, South Central, some would consider, in the mid 80s. And during that time, it was the height of the crack epidemic, the war on drugs. We were seeing a lot of destruction to our neighborhoods. There was a lot of black men and women being hauled off by the dozens, handcuffed for nonviolent cannabis crimes. And
they got swept up in the war on drugs.
Yep, in the war on drugs.
A lot of us did, definitely.
And so, for me, having that history, seeing that, hearing the stories of the Panthers, of the warriors, of those that, the bosses that, you know, came before me in my bloodline, for me it was important to utilize my connection spiritually that I had with the medicine and tell that story. And so I developed a relationship that was even more spiritual with cannabis at some point in my life, in my late 20s, and I realized the power of cannabis. Cannabis is the gateway to the healing, to reparations, to all of the things that we have been yearning for in this new earth. Cannabis is it, through creating wealth in our communities,
absolutely,
through opportunities, through providing the healing to go back into the hoods that was demolished through the war on drugs, that are still being demolished, to bring that healing, to bring that education. I got aunties and uncles that look at me funny when I'm at holidays, dinners or whatever, because they don't approve of like my lifestyle with the cannabis because of how we were conditioned to believe.
No doubt, because in
it
the
was
past,
criminalized.
You used the word gateway. In the past, they used to try to convince us that it was a gateway drug to cocaine, crack, and heroin, and all these other drugs. But your spin was a more positive one. It was a gate. You say it's a gateway to healing, and I agree with you. It is a gateway to healing and reparations. The financial aspect of the cannabis industry is undeniable,
right?
You know, and it can't be kept a secret no more. A lot more of us are coming to the table, you know, and getting involved on that side of the fence. And so part of that era, the 80s era, you say was the inspiration for you to put this together, Zen and Kush. Okay, so thank you for bringing that back. So I wanted to set that context of like where I came from and what I saw. And fast forward, I was 5-6 years ago working in a dispensary for many years, and I was the only black woman working in that dispensary. And for every single day, I would literally watch people come in on a certain vibration and leave on a whole new frequency. Yeah, I know that's right. And people that were depressed, I saw someone that came in, they were on 18 prescription pills a day, and over maybe an 8-month to 1 year time frame, I saw them go down to
you know, from 18 to 10 to 7 to 5 to 1, to where they came in and was like, I'm literally on no more prescription pills solely because of my connection with cannabis and my practice with cannabis. And I'm seeing this and I'm like, dang, they was teaching us something different. They told me my brain, you remember they would make those commercials, they would come into our classrooms, interrupt class, and they would tell us lies about cannabis.
This is your brain on drugs.
You feel me? Right. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. They just lied to us about everything. Oh no, how could they? How can I, as an event producer, as an artist, as someone that loves my community and wants to uplift my community, create a space where we can teach people about this stuff? I would be invited to perform at events in the cannabis industry, speak on panels, dozens and dozens of events, and every time I was literally the only black person in the space amongst farmers, distributors, bud tenders, owners, and I'm like, this is not reflective of what's really going on, because when I'm on Crenshaw, when I'm in Lamert, it looks different, even when I'm in other places. And so I wanted to create an event space, an experience for people that look like me, that look like Stephanie, that look like all of us, where we could learn about it, we could experience it. But it's heavily infused with hip-hop culture, and it's heavily infused with sensuality and erotic arts.
Yeah, because it makes sense, man, because two things that bring people together, weed and music, man.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That shit is undeniable right there. You know,
exactly.
We as a human race come together for two things, weed and music, and you're putting it together in a very stylish, a very mature, and also a very sexy way. You know what I mean? And as a female artist, you see a lot of female artists empowering themselves through sexuality and grabbing people's attention. Was that a part of your thought process when you decided to present yourself to the world?
Yo, I'm loving the questions. I'm loving it. You know what? Let me say this. There came a point where when I was rapping, you feel me, like when I first started out, I knew I was good, but for some reason I just didn't feel confident as like when I see, Queen Latifah performing. And I'm like, okay, I need to work on my confidence. And so I made a commitment to work on my confidence and be powerful in that. And part of that was owning my femininity, owning my sensual essence, because I got 3 brothers. I grew up playing sports my whole life. You used to wear like braids. I always wear J's and basketball shorts. And I was just on my little tomboy energy. And I loved that. It was fun. It was fly. However, some of that was due to me kind of hiding my femininity a little bit. And so I just wanted to tune in deeper. So once I started practicing these various rituals to celebrate myself as a woman, I started to realize that the power of feminine essence literally manifests anything you want in this world. We can literally birth life through our portals. And so I was realizing what else can be birthed through this energy. And so to answer your question is like, as a woman who's tuned in, who understands the power of sensuality and sexuality, and I feel good if I wear a cute ass v-neck, because I'm celebrating my breasts because they're beautiful. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm trying to fuck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's about celebrating the beauty of the feminine essence. And so that is part of it, but it's natural. It's not forced. It's just who I am.
And it doesn't
come
off. It doesn't come off forced. That as a man observing you and observing how you do what you do, it doesn't come off forced. And sometimes with other artists it does. If I gotta be honest, it looks a little bit, of a stretch. But me as an MC as well, and appreciating female MCs, my first favorite rapper was MC Light.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? From Brooklyn, New York. And she was she had a way of being very masculine in her tone, but obviously a woman, obviously a female, and she never hid the fact that she was a female, which I always thought was dope, and it wasn't forced. And you are, on that spectrum as well. with your music and what you do. Now let's talk about these events that you put together
for
too.
Sure.
Because
shout out to MC Light.
Yeah, shout out to MC Light for sure, man. My first favorite female rapper. I actually, her album Light as a Rock was the first album I ever bought with my own money. Was Light as a Rock. That's how much of a fan I was,
that's
man.
Fire.
Yeah. Go look her up, man. MC Light, Cream Under Sand,
yeah, she's
Georgie
dope.
Porgy, so many classic records, you know what I mean? But to your events that you put together. Now, they are very sexy. It's a lot of women in negligee and everything like that. And it's
Absolutely.
It's very eye-catching.
Yes.
But me, as an entrepreneur and a businessman in this industry, I was impressed that you put this shit together city to city.
Yeah, city to city.
Like,
I did it.
round of applause to that shit right there, because I know what
you.
it takes to put events together. I've been in the the concert business for a few years. Shout out to the whole Welcome to the West team out there.
Okay.
And it's hard work.
Yes.
It is hard work putting it together, promoting it, finding venues, finding people to come together and get all of these moving parts to move in unison and get it done.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration for those events, and like, do you have a team, or you just a one woman, army out here, like,
wow.
Let the people know how you doing this, man, so they can be inspired.
I love that. The inspiration, Zen and Kush. I was in LA, I was on the scene, I was doing some stuff with the radio stations, I was, doing the interviews. I had my own hip hop blog, so I was interviewing all the artists just on the scene and doing events, and like the events were getting some of these dope artists that I had made friends with from interviews and stuff like that. So I was able to like build a real solid, like, fly ass, reputation with the event curation. And eventually when I was working at the dispensary, the cannabis, learning more about it, I was so excited and ready to share this story with our people. And I wanted to fuse that energy. And so Zen and Kush, I was like, I'm an artist, I got music, I need to book myself. I'm starting my own record label. How do I create a platform where I can perform my music, teach people about cannabis, give people the opportunity to feel good and look good, while also creating a platform for other dope ass artists that I love to come and express their music too, and their healing and whatever it is. And so, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start this dope event series. I know all the cannabis brands, they gonna sponsor. It's gonna be lit. I'm gonna be the flyest girl in the cannabis industry and this hip hop shit. I'm gonna do it. You feel me? Lizzy Jeff worldwide. And I wrote it down, and the name came to me immediately. And for some reason, what inspired the name? I was thinking about Snoop with the gin and juice. That was Snoop, right? Back in the day.
No doubt. And
I was like, dang, gin and juice, like, that's such a classic. It just came to me. I'm like, when you hear gin and juice, I mean, some people will be like, oh, the drink, but a lot of people would think about like hip hop and that song. It'll immediately come to you. And so I was like, okay, gin and juice, huh? I was like, Zen and Kush, because I wanted to fuse this like expression of healing, Zen energy, Reiki, body work, energy work, eye gazing, all these various like forms of healing modalities with our culture, what it represents now, as well as where we came from. And some of the greatest rulers have been the rulers of the great kingdom of Kush. And not only that, Kush, when you think about it, I ask people, I'm like, who comes to mind when you think about the word Kush? People say Snoop, Wiz Khalifa, Bob Marley, Bob Dylan, Willie Nelson, all these iconic men. And so I was like, well, I want somebody to say Lizzy Jeff when they hear Kush.
It gotta be,
how do we redefine
it gotta be, somebody represent the feminine energy on that, because women smoke weed too.
Exactly. And I just wanted to tell our story as well, while including the men.
Yeah.
And so Zen and Kush was birthed. And it's just that fusion of spirituality with the healing medicine, with hip hop, cannabis, and then the sensuality.
No doubt.
Because you got to make it sexy.
Gotta keep
You
it
feel
sexy.
me?
I agree 100%.
Ain't nothing like
so are
beautiful
your
women.
events, these sexy events, are they all female only? Or?
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're open to everybody, and there are a lot of women-only events that happen, and I think that's cool because as women we do need our spaces. However, I'm like, if we gonna do it, let's do it. It's gonna be sexy. I want the men there. You have to be of a certain vibration to even enter the space, because you may see a naked woman and you see all shapes, all sizes, all colors. It's about celebrating the goddess. It's like a priestess temple when you walk in. So even though it's roses everywhere and the aromatherapy and you got the aphrodisiac tonics and the lingerie and the beautiful women rolling up your herb, the men are welcome into the space as long as they acknowledge that the goddess is the goddess and that she will be honored in that space, and she is beautiful. And so yes, because as women are learning, we doing our V-steams, we drinking our alkaline juices, you feel me, we working now, we starting businesses, we getting it popping, meditating. So it's like, I want our men to have a space where they can see us while being turned on, of course, but in a way where they feel ignited to start a new business, write a new book, go send a positive voice message to their mother, you know, just uplift and show up for women in a more elevated, godly way.
No doubt. And you perform at these events.
Exactly.
You perform your music as well.
Yeah, so I get to do exclusive music that's not out anywhere. Depending on the city and the configuration, I have a pole dancer, I have a sax player, a harpist, different configurations in different cities.
That's a whole vibe.
It's a motherfucking vibe.
It's a whole vibe.
It's a vibe.
Harp playing.
Yeah, and when you leave, people message me 7 days, 20 days, a year later, like I'm still on that wave. Like ever since I left Zen and Kush, I got a new house. I found the love of my life. I closed on a da-da-da. I started a business. I made my first million. You know, some people are like, the first stage I ever performed on was Zen and Kush, and they're doing incredible things in the world. And so my intention in creating it with my feminine energy and my creativity is literally being reflected in the experiences that people are sharing with me based on, you know, what was activated in that space. And so that means everything to me. So to answer your question, is there a team? As of January 1st, 2022, I will have assimilated my first official full-time core team of 5 people.
Nice. Okay.
And so it has been a one-woman show as far as like booking, hotels, rentals, venues,
Amazing.
set design, practice for the song, calling my DJ, making shit happen, sending the invites, promoting the event. And now that I've been able to take it on the road and see what type of energy I need in the team, I've been able to get very clear on the level of support that I need and the level of the person that needs to come in. And so it's opening up now that I've been able to get very clear on my vision. I am going to be working with the team, but what I'll say is in every city I go to, there are people that show up for me ready to work, ready to put in work. And so I appreciate that. Otherwise, Zen and Kush is the community. It's not just me. It's like I could be off on the island with my titties out, sun gazing, sipping a coconut right now if I wanted to, and I will be. But for me, it's important to get the community popping.
No doubt, man.
All right, for sure.
Lady hustler right there, y'all. You see what I'm saying? You see it? It's a lady hustler right there, you know. I want to take it a little bit to present times right now as far as the hip-hop industry and the emergence of female artists dominating the charts like never before. In your opinion as a female MC, why do you think now it's happening now? After all these years, because like I said, MC Lyte been around, Queen Latifah been around, the list goes on and on, on and on. Why is it happening right now?
Wow.
In your opinion?
Powerful question. I love it. It's happening right now because in each generation there has been a women's movement. And each movement grows stronger and more powerful than the last generation. This generation is just the most powerful. with everything that especially happened last year, it forced a lot of us, especially women, to get in our bag, to get in our power, to get in our confidence, to get in our sexuality. And I believe that, you know, who's dominating those charts is black women, for the most part, that you're speaking of. And who better than us to kick the doors down in hip-hop, to flood the industry, to flood the culture with this black girl magic, with this energy. And so I believe that the tone, a lot of people always speak on like the sexual, like the strong sexual tones that's coming through. However, how do people come through to even have a life on earth? They come through the portal.
Absolutely.
They come through that energy of sex, that sex magic energy. And so is a new renaissance is being birthed. It's a new golden era. And so I think it's powerful that so many women are dominating the charts. I think we right on time. And what I also believe is that these women that are on that forefront are opening the doors so everybody else can just float through beautifully. Not everybody has to kick doors down. Not everybody has to bust their ass and get taken advantage of. And so I believe that the doors are opening to let in all types of flavors, to let in brand new lanes. Because there's a lot of dope, like unique women artists as well that are doing some fly shit. And so it's time. It's time.
Yeah. And I think, you know, some of these execs and men that's in a position of power, I think it just clicked in their head one day, like, you know what? Women like looking at women, men like looking at women, and there's a lot of talented females out here, especially at a time when the industry was taking a dip. You know, it was becoming a sausage fest, a little bit too much testosterone. You know what I mean? Not enough feminine energy to balance it out. It has to be balanced.
Right.
Give me your top 5, if you can, female MCs, any era.
Wow, top 5 women.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, any era.
Any era. Now, past, doesn't matter.
I mean, of course, Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill.
I really do appreciate Nicki.
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
It's a beast.
You gotta pay homage to Queen Latifah.
Oh yeah.
She's just real dope. Her message was strong. And I like that she was unafraid to say,
ladies first.
Ladies
first. Yeah.
She was unafraid to say those things. And then let me bring it here. Let me bring it to right now. What's really caught my eye.
So we got Lauryn, Nicki, Latifah.
Dang, that's a tough question to have to pick favorites. Look, right now, I like what Lady London is doing. I don't know if I would say top 5, but I just wanted to say that Lady London is doing her motherfucking thing right now with the
Lady
bars.
London.
To close it off, yeah. Who else is there? Who's coming through?
One more.
There's so many I'm always talking about that I love.
Yeah, and
but
then
I would give it to who would I give it to? Shit.
it's no wrong answer.
Okay. It is no wrong answer.
Nah, it's not.
It's just like, wow.
Because anybody you would leave off is still
Okay,
great.
let me just leave it there. Let me leave it at, can I do that?
You can leave it at 4.
Let me do that. And then if anything comes through,
when we do another interview, I'll get number 5
okay,
from you.
for sure.
Alright, so before we wrap up this great interview, I definitely want to get, since you do travel a lot and you put on these, you know, these great spectacles and these great vibey performances, has there ever been anything that was like, wow, I can't believe that shit just happened, or any story you can give the people, because we do trade and war stories around here. All the people that follow the Outlaw Show, y'all know about it. And so we're gonna do one with Lizzy Jeff. We gotta do one with Lizzy Jeff.
Shit.
Anything, any story that you can give us, you know.
Wow.
At one of your Zen and Kush events, man.
Wow.
You know what? I'm gonna say the Zen and Kush events have thankfully been. Of course, there's always some interesting things that happen because you're playing in that realm of the erotics and the exotics. But as far as wild, there's some things that's coming to mind. I mean, there's been times where there's been like, you know, male fans who might be a little overexcited. And
A little overexcited to see you and meet you.
yeah, and just, you know, there was a situation. There was a situation one time. It got handled, but because you said, "Oh my God, is this happening?" But there was a situation with somebody, and the police pulled up, and I just happened to be outside, and all you see is this guy running down the street, and the police officers are chasing him, and you know, it sounds really.
He was cutting up. He was.
He was just It had gotten to a point where he was coming to too many shows, and this was when I was super indie.
Yeah, that stalker energy.
Yeah, and I don't even like to speak on it, but it was the support from the community, you know, that really showed up, that supported that whole situation. But I realized too, even in that energy, like, this shit is, you know, you gotta protect what you're building. And so it just helped me get really tight with the security, with the whole situation.
Yeah, because some of these squares can't handle seeing, you know, ladies.
Oh, and this was back in the day when I was just doing rap shows. Zen and Kush is only Zen and Kush.
So this wasn't even that one.
Not at Zen and Kush. This was when I was just showing up rapping.
Oh, wow.
I would just go to any stage that booked me, and I was just rapping. This was in my early days before I got the clear vision on Zen and Kush. And Zen and Kush is celebrating its 6-year anniversary.
Wow, 6 years.
In January.
Dope.
And it's a beautiful experience. And so maybe in the last 3 years of Zen and Kush, have I taken it to this like more like very sensual, like including the erotic arts in it. So it started off, it still was always a vibe, but it has evolved into, because remember, it's a reflection of me and my growth as a woman and how I've been evolving. And so the events evolve with me on my healing journey, different things. And so even in all the crazy shit that happens, it's just always, okay, I'm like, okay, I got some more work to do. Okay. So it's always, you know, just that true reflection of me and my lifestyle and where I am in my life.
Okay, so speaking of these epic events that you're doing, Zen and Kush, I wanna let our viewers get a little visual of that, because I feel like what we're saying is only giving them just a little piece of what goes down at your event. So we got a clip for y'all we about to play. Set this up real quick for us. When was this in
okay,
what we about to see?
Right, so this was in Atlanta just a few weeks ago for Zen and Kush Teas.
Okay.
And this particular setup was still your Zen and Kush event. However, it was a little more curated to be a little more sensual but intimate. So usually there might be 100 people. This time there are only maybe 40 people.
Okay.
So it's very intimate, very sexy, very sensual. And so I recently did the remix to Big Purr. I did my own version. The streets loved it so much, I'm like, I gotta do a music video. So because the Zen and Kush events are set up so beautifully, and we put in all that work to like create this gorgeous set design, I said, let's shoot the music video for Big Purr right here. My pole dancer, her name is Nirvana. She lives in Florida. She pulled up. She was looking good. My sax player was there. It was a whole visual like experience. And so this is a clip from that night with the dancers, the gorgeous women in lace lingerie. You might see the rose petals and the dollar bills on the floor right there. it was a beautiful scene, and so I had a good time. And that's actually dropping 12/12.
12/12.
It's gonna be available for the world.
So by the time
premiere.
y'all seen this interview, it'll be out in the world.
Exactly.
You'll be able to go on YouTube everywhere.
Yep.
You got Instagram
And
page.
see it, and it's beautiful.
Check
too.
it out. Yeah, no doubt. It looks amazing. Wow. Yeah.
Sexy.
Okay. So look, before we get up out of here, first thank you for coming and bringing such a nice energy to the set and to the man cave here, man. Bringing some feminine energy up in here, man. We need more of that. Hello.
Right.
FRENZEE
Hello.
Broadcasting. Shout out to the whole team.
Shout out to the team. I see y'all.
Uh-huh.
Everybody holding space perfectly.
What's next for Lizzy? I know you said your team is together for 2022. Any new music, more videos, more Singing Kush events?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had a power meeting with my team a couple days ago. Beautiful women that's just kicking doors in every chance that they get, and just creative and brilliant. And what happened at the end of it, we had the schedule for 2022 for the Zen and Kush tour, and so my entire year is already booked for 2022.
Nice.
So we taking Zen and Kush all over the world.
Nice.
And so we from New Year's to the end of the year.
Talk
and
that
so
shit.
while we doing that, I kicked off the tour this year, 2021, with my album called Prophecies of a Rap Priestess, Volume 1. And that was on 4/20. I did a big release party in LA on 4/20, shut it down, and then I hit the road, and I probably hit at least 11 cities for the remainder of the year. Went to Costa Rica, came back, everywhere. And so on 4/20, 2022, I'm going to drop Prophecies of a Rap Priestess Volume 2. And we're going to be on tour already, so the energy, the alignment is just right. I got my own strain hitting the streets real soon, and I've been working with some powerful women that look like me in the industry that have some big major plays popping off. So I got the cannabis hitting the street real soon.
Yeah.
The album, the Zen and Kush tour. I wrote a book last year. I'm gonna write another one. I'm writing another one, and I'm gonna be releasing that. So it's a lot of beautiful things that's in motion for me. And one thing that I want to speak into existence while we in this space and the energy is so lit, and I'm smoking this good ganja, is I'm materializing a beautiful, gorgeous home for myself in Miami. I love Miami. I've been on the road for the last 3 years straight. I moved out of my apartment in LA, put everything in storage, and just took the message on the road, and it's been powerful. And so even though I will be traveling, I'm looking to curate the same spaces that I do for people all over the world for myself in a more like, you know, grounded space. So Miami house,
305, she on
that.
the way.
So we're going to do a big
Get
Zen and
ready.
Kush event out there to celebrate. So
No
stay
doubt.
tuned.
Alright, that's what's up, man. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned to her. Follow her on all social media platforms. Let them know.
Lizzy Jeff, LIZZY JEFF. Zen and Kush, ZENANDKUSH. And of course you can find me at LizzyJeff.com. I even got the Lizzy Jeff Masterclass every Monday, y'all, and it's been lit. So
Man, she
let's
putting
build,
it
let's
together
grow.
for y'all. Ladies, make sure y'all tap in. Fellas, too, tap in. Keep it all playing, respectful. Y'all know what it is. It's the Outlaw Show. We up out of here, man. See you next time.
Stay hydrated.
Please do.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cute, y'all. Thank you.
This world is such a and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean an
I
ideal
swear,
sense.
man, we got the ghost of Pac in the studio right now.